Welcome back. Going into the second part here of Drop Frames. Whoa. You were leaning
What
in.
the fuck happened to my fucking camera?
I think you were leaning in so the camera focused on the... I don't know. Or you're just becoming an angel before us.
No,
Are you rapturing?
Like, totally reset my settings. It was Skype that did it.
Oh.
And I was just in the middle of like typing like, can we move Skype? Anyway.
It's fine. It looks all right. Are you, I was going to start with you. Do you want to fix that first, or do you want to talk about observation a little bit?
We can talk. Yeah, it'll only take me like 2 seconds. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, we got Coast Thoughts on it last week. I've not touched it. I know you... Did you play and finish it, Zeke? This VOD is 8 hours, so I can assume so. That you finished observation?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What'd you think? We're really gonna put you on this. Okay, there you go. Now you got it fixed. What'd you think of observation? Also, I don't know if I want to show gameplay. Kind of the same situation as last week, so we'll be brief on it. Observation, thumbs up, thumbs down. What'd you think?
Observation, thumbs up. Totally thumbs up. 100%. It is. It's an experience. It's a well constructed, well contained story with a beginning, middle, and an end. And I say that because a lot of times with avant-garde stuff, or like people like science fiction ideas or weird abstract ideas, sometimes you'll play a game and it'll just end. And you're like, what? Don't just end. There was more stuff. This one did not do that. It was like, beginning, awesome. Middle, okay, I'm invested. And it was like, okay. Wrapped it up.
Close to the Sun Devs, cool. Are you listening? I hope so.
But yeah, no, I absolutely loved it. It was a journey all the way through. It didn't take overly long. Let me see. How long was the stream, did you say?
8 hours is what I saw. Yeah.
Why?
You might have...
Oh, that's why. I was like, why am I not seeing it? Oh, Epic. I haven't opened my Epic thing.
Oh, fuck. That's...
My Epic store. Yeah,
every time I'm like, maybe I'll check. He liked it. Maybe I'll check that game out. And then someone says Epic Game Store. I'm like, I just don't even want to run the program. It's not that I don't like, I don't really care too much about Epic buying exclusive, etc. I just don't want to open the program and have to type in my fucking password. I have to do all this shit. I just want it to work in Steam.
Okay.
I'm new to Epic. Is there a way?
When double clicking an icon and putting in a string of letters and numbers is too much work to use it.
Yes. It's why I haven't played a ton of games on that fucking platform. I just don't want to use it. I don't know if it's even bad. I haven't used it in months.
So I'm new to Epic. Is there a way to see, hours played within the app?
That's a Co question. I don't. Can you see time played?
Yes,
Co?
I was asking Co.
He says no. No, there's no answer.
No, I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Chat's saying
no.
Really?
Okay, chat's saying no. So
yeah.
There you go.
It's nice.
It's on the roadmap apparently. Cool.
Roadmap.
It's on the roadmap. Yeah.
Roadmap in the app.
I guess. No. The roadmap for future development.
Yeah. It's not like an actual.
There is no roadmap in Epic Games that will then tell you your time played. No.
I see.
I saw the wires starting to like fizz and connect there a little bit. I'm like, is he gonna? Oh, there, made the connection.
It's on the honeydew list, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, we're gonna do it soon, maybe.
They got to stop buying other games first before they can work on that stuff.
Yeah, they're just like I just picture them like with a whiteboard and like a room just filled with whiteboards and words on the whiteboard, like hours played in app, and this dude just in a business suit comes over and like starts just like hucking money at the whiteboard. Like, why isn't it working yet?
Yeah,
work. Yeah, I said work.
You're probably not wrong. Twitch wise, you played it for 8.5 hours. 8 hours and 23 minutes was the stream length. Okay, so yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, it's because I went back and I played it up to a certain point again, because there's like, without spoiling anything, there's a moment in the game, like aha moment, We're like, hey, wait a minute. And it was towards the end that I had the aha moment. And then I went, I'm going to go back and check out that shit. And then I went back and I went, like, because I really don't want to spoil any part of it because it is an experience from start to finish.
That's what
and
I've
it's
heard.
worth playing. Yeah. And I know I'm being like ultra vague and that kind of stuff, but it's on purpose because it's worth checking out. How much was this fucking game?
30?
Something. It was weird. It was part of that $10 off sale, and like the price wouldn't show right if you already bought it. And I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, we're talking about observation. Sorry for there's nothing on the screen. Yeah,
20. Okay, chat's saying 25 now.
Okay,
$12.49 with the sale. Yeah,
and that was like the pre-order. What was that sale? Is the sale still going on where you can get $10 off?
It was a giant epic sale where they took $10 off everything, and they didn't talk to the devs about it. So a lot of people pulled their products. And it was just a mess.
Okay, it
was a big unprofessional mess.
Okay, apparently it is still going on according to chat.
Oh, there you go. How long is it for?
I don't know.
Oh, the sale goes until E3.
Till E3. Okay, there you go.
Cool. So I'm looking in the Epic Game Store. Is there a way to see the price of the game if you've already bought it?
You have to go to the.
Yes, you have to go to the store first, and then when you search for it, you'll see the price in the front part there. But if you click on it to go to the actual store page, then it'll tell you already own it and won't show you the price. So when you search for it, you have to look on that big like search results screen. It'll show you on there. But that screen also doesn't always show the deals. That's the reason I was saying like if that $10 thing is still going on, then yeah, it doesn't show. It's a mess, man. It's a mess.
These are easy fixes, and I'm waiting for patch 2.0 of Epic Games to fix these things that Steam perfected 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's $22.49 right now.
Okay.
$25 normally. And I would say I had a blast with it. I can't say if it's worth that to you, but I would say like I considered it money well spent for me. The experience that I had and the thought-provoking nature of the game was more than enough to keep me interested throughout the entire thing. Also, it like just now, I'm not fucking kidding you. Just now dawned on me that you know the like a 3D like line drawing of a box.
Sure.
If you look at the outline of a 3D line drawing of a box, it's a hexagon, and I just noticed that, and I went, that would have saved a lot of like shit, or not saved it, but it would have like twigged me to something like in the game. I went, oh, because I was looking at it like that's just a box. It's like, nah, it's not a box. Like, oh fuck.
Okay. All right. I guess it's a little inside baseball there from Zeke.
I mean, play it.
Man, I'd love to talk about this more with you, Zeke. You have no idea. I cannot wait for our spoiler cast of Observation because I have so many things I'd love to talk to you about that game.
If I haven't played by next week, then I think we can probably just have a spoiler conversation about it.
Just fucking play it, man. It's short. Just
I don't want to fucking open the Epic. It's fucking Epic.
It's not scary, dude. It's not scary at all.
No, really it's not about that. It's literally the Epic Game Launcher. I'm opening it right now. If it doesn't remember my login, there's an update. Fuck it, it's closed. I'm closing it. I can't even close it. You can't even hit X on this. You have to hit continue for it to update.
No, honestly, JP, you are the epitome of the English phrase "can't be arsed." You can't be arsed to do anything. Like, if it's inconvenient, fuck it. Done.
Oh, wait, can you play this on console? Is this a console game? Oh, God, it just started updating. If it starts to lag the stream, I apologize.
You can play it on PS4.
Okay, maybe I'll just grab it on PS4. I wonder if are graphics good in this game?
Well, it has like this style to it where it's got like a grainy overlay and it's kind of designed to look older, but at the same time, there are parts that look pretty good. Like basically imagine it's really well rendered in the background, but then it like a lot of times overlays things like static and weird skitzing and stuff like that. So you could probably get away playing on the PS4, but you'd probably want to play it on the PC.
Did
It's
you
kind of like a visual file.
Did you both use mouse and keyboard, or either of you?
Yes.
Okay.
I use mouse and keyboard.
You use
I use
controller?
controller.
And it worked fine both ways?
Yep.
All right.
There's no, I mean, this is not spoiling. There's no shooting, so you don't have to aim.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, again, if I don't get around to it by next week, we'll have a spoiler cast for it regardless. That's observation. Let's move on. I think it says this is pathologic too. I don't know. Is this pathologic that we're seeing here?
Yes. That's
Okay.
it.
What is this game?
Okay. So before we talk about this game, I think it's important people understand the
Did you play
devs
Tuco?
themselves. Oh, I played this game for 8 hours, and I'm playing it again tomorrow morning. The devs of this game have stated essentially that the game is not meant to be fun. The game is meant the game is supposed to be a dark, difficult, long trudge through the unknown. It's they're trying to convey and make you feel things that are not what you normally get out of video games. So it's very important to mention that if you go into this game expecting fun, you're gonna have a bad time.
Huh.
I know that sounds weird, but it's the truth. Zeke, how
I
did you
only
like
played it for a little. Let's see, how long do I have?
It was
in
very
this?
short, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that.
2 hours. I
Yeah.
played this game for 2 hours and I went, I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm out. And I
Totally
I made a promise a long time ago to myself and to my stream, like if I ever got bored playing a game, I'm not going to continue playing it. So I got bored playing this and I went,
What was
nope,
boring about
I'm out.
it? Is it just walking around like this?
Not a lot of action. It's a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking, which I don't mind if it's exciting, but it was just really dull. Is the gist of it? Not there was barely. I mean, there's a mystery to it. That's the only like driving factor of the game is there's like this weird. They give you they drop these little like esoteric hints and clues as to what's going on and. There's like, is this real? Is this not real? Kind of feeling to it. But once you actually get, because that part was fun. Like the train part, like at the very beginning of the game, this part was pretty fun. And then when you get to the actual, like, first starting area, it was just like, man, this is fucking. I mean, someone throw a pie or something like. Like, you know, like something, please. And look at this. Look at this dreary, like, it's just, I wouldn't mind it if this was just like a section of the game, but everything is just this grays and browns and like dead and sick and dying. And I understand that's part of the story, but like, man, is it tough to play because of that reason. Like, you can do a dead, sick, dying location and still make it exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't they do that with like Metro and stuff like that? Like, a lot of times it's very drab and it's very dreary, but it's exciting, right? You can do that in games. This one was just like, we want to make you depressed and everybody's sick and la la la, but we're gonna make you depressed playing the game and bored. And I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I mean, that said, it's kind of intriguing, the trying to unravel the plot lines and stuff, but it wasn't fun enough. Like Ko said, it wasn't fun enough to keep going. After 2 hours, I was like, man, I need a sandwich and a nap because I really don't want to continue this game. So I switched to a different game.
So you stuck around for 8 hours. Does it change?
Yeah, and I'm going back in tomorrow.
What's the pull?
Okay. So the thing about this game is that let me just first say this. Everything Zeke just said is absolutely right.
Okay.
It's a at times difficult to play game. It's not only a survival game at heart, but You very rarely get any straight information from anyone. Everything is obscured in this kind of not only weird way to talk, but this kind of weird system that's going around. There's human people, there's not human people, there's a murder investigation. The thing about this game that interests me is that it's almost hard to explain. It's just, it constantly gives you the littlest bit of rope to keep climbing with if you keep looking for it. And it's never a lot. It's always just kind of like the next step. But there have certainly been many things that have happened in the game that have been extremely strange, very weird. Like later on, there's definitely some scares kind of things. The story starts making more sense as you get through the days. Because what's interesting is the way this game works is you can go and talk to lots of people at different times. But, oh yeah, no, this part's really bad because I had to look around and look for herbs. So literally I'm just wandering in a circle through plants for like 5 minutes trying to find herbs that they don't mark. It was ridiculous.
Well, that's how I felt about every part of the game. Like every part of the game besides,
wait, so it's World of Warcraft.
It's just like,
yeah, sort of. A little bit of spoilers though.
This is a great game. I should play it.
So just to explain a little bit, the reason I'm walking around and finding these herbs is because there's this small child that's convinced that if he makes this thing, he can talk to the dead because my character's father recently died. So instead of that, there's this other girl that has this weird possession thing going on, and she talks to the dead by putting her head on them, but it's killing her. And this other person wants me to stop that from happening. And the person that's dead is my father, and the reason he's dead is because when they tried to bury him, the earth literally spit his body out of the earth. So they had to do this certain thing where, like, I took on his burden so they could actually bury him. It gets so weird. And here's where it gets even weirder. So the game can be played in lots of different ways. You don't have to go to every location. You don't have time to go to every location. There is a persistent clock. You have 12 days in this game. And every time a day ends, certain amounts of people die, certain things get locked out, and you can't do anything to different people. So you're trying to solve this investigation while all these other events are unfolding by themselves. And you have to kind of like choose not only where you want to go or what you want to do. And there's all these really kind of weird fourth wall areas. So like you'll get up to this one point where you enter a house with these two characters and they're literally like, you shouldn't be talking to us now. There's other stuff you need to be doing. If you keep talking to us, something is going to happen that you may regret. And then you walk outside and this other character's like, I saw you and they're talking to them. You need to understand that if you keep doing that, like your world will change. And there's other parts where, like, for instance, there's this weird system where if you die in the, like at one point you get this very surreal thing where you're having like this dream and there's a play. And in the play, they talk about how at this point, if you die, then, you know, your entire world will be affected and things will be terrible. Well, I was just like, oh, this is a dumb play, whatever. Then I went outside and encountered this group of people that then killed me. Well, then my last save reloaded, this little vocal cue played where it's like, we tried to tell you your world would be affected. And every single one of my save games, including ones before the theater, got a max health hit. Huh. So there's really weird mechanics like that. Like you can't saves come out of it because it literally goes into your previous save games and it changes things around. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. Not only has the story really picked up at the point of the game I'm in where, you know, parts of the city are quarantined, there's this virus going around, like all this weird shit's happening. But 6 hours into the game, I unlocked a base that I could upgrade and build. I unlocked new characters I could talk to. I unlocked this entire part of the game where you have to investigate people using this unique UI. There's an infection and pain meter. You have to balance infection and pain while using different tinctures to identify different maladies. And you do this by balancing pain and painkillers because everything you use on the person hurts them. And once you diagnose the thing, then you have to get the right medicine. You have to treat them properly. And that's like this whole new side of the game that's opened up on day 3. And apparently the further you get into the game, the like more and deeper these mechanics become. So again, it's a weird game. And keep in mind, the whole time this is going on, there is a survival aspect. You have to keep rested. You have to keep water. You have to keep fed. And you're constantly looting containers and stuff. There's loot all over the place. Very, very similar to We Happy Few. It's like We Happy Few if they were depressed. If they were depressed. If they were depressed and on drugs.
Oh, God.
That's this.
They weren't on drugs in that game?
I like drugs.
Yeah. But like it's it's depressed drugs, not just normal drugs, like drugs that make you like it's
apathetic.
Again,
okay, all right.
yeah, it's just strange, and that's kind of what's keeping me playing it, is because this game 100% keeps me on my toes. I never know what to expect from it. There's this giant tower full of 700 children that adults can't enter. Why is that there? Nobody knows. There's this little cult of kids that wear wolf masks, and they're fighting another group of kids that have spirit animals that say they have a soul and a half. What's that mean? There's non-humans that walk around and have their own things. What's going on with that? There was this ever-present evil attacking my father that I then took the burdens to kill. What's going on there? There's 3 different factions you can join, and each of them have different ways to investigate the main story. Which one do I pick? And keep in mind, while all this is going on, you don't necessarily have to do things in the right order. You don't have to do anything. You can just let things happen if you want to. And every time you do something, it has permanent consequences.
Huh.
So it's
all right.
It's a very unique game, but it doesn't give the player the carrot on the stick to keep them moving. You have to keep yourself going through it, and it doesn't always reward you if you do.
Here's what I think the game might have kept me going, and I know it's a big ask, and I know it's tough to do, and I know it's expensive. If they voice acted it, it would definitely like, there are voice lines, yes, but it's usually just the opening line, like,
and they generally have nothing to do with what the character's talking about.
Yeah,
which is even weird.
You'll go up to talk to somebody, they'll say something weird, and then the rest of the dialogue is it's read. Now, one of the things I said, like, I think I might have made a tweet about this, but this game was not good for me to broadcast, to stream. It's not a bad game. It's a depressing and boring game a lot of times. However, sometimes those kind of games are like Ko said, have enough to keep you intrigued. Yeah, exactly. But it's not something I want to stream, because it was just a lot of wandering around, a lot of reading out dialogue. This is a Sunday afternoon, smoke a bowl and play this game kind of a game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to talk. I just want to sit there and like walk around and do stuff and like not think. That's why I stopped streaming it. I could definitely see myself going back and continuing this game, but not on stream. It's not something that I find entertaining enough for an audience.
Gotcha. All right. I want to know. Ko sparked my interest just to have him spoil it for me next week when he plays more. So we'll do that. I want to know what the fuck's going on in this game.
I have to warn you, like, it took me 6 hours to get to those mechanics I was talking about earlier.
Jeez.
Like it, and apparently after X more hours, even more stuff's opens up. So, and I don't even know where I'm going with the mechanics they're teaching me. They like taught me all this way to diagnose and cure people, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. Like that's why I'm playing tomorrow, because I'm like, I want to know where this is going.
Where are these devs from, and who are they?
It's Russian. This is a all Russian.
Okay.
I like that. This is JSP's reaction to that.
Oh. Say no more.
Oh. Now, interestingly enough, there's a lot of very weird folklore in the game. And like, there's these people called the kin. And at first I said during the broadcast, like, oh, maybe this is like Russian lore. Like maybe there's stuff in here about like fables and parables I don't know about in Russia.
Yeah.
A Russian viewer messaged me after the stream. He was like, nope, shit's just screwed up and weird. It has nothing to do with us. It's just made in Russia. But we're good at that. And I was like,
nice.
You're awesome. Thanks, bud.
Cool.
So apparently it's all just... Now, keep in mind, this is Pathologic 2. There was a Pathologic 1. I did not play it, so I'm not sure exactly how much connected material is between them. But from what I understand, that crazy tower I was talking about earlier apparently had a lot to do in Pathologic 1. So, yeah. If you are very interested in checking out 2, you may want to check out 1.
Cool.
Someone told me that it's a sort of remake. Like, I don't know if it's a plot by plot whatever remake, but multiple people told me like you can just jump into 2, don't even worry about 1, because it's spiritually the same game ish.
That's really interesting, because a big part of the beginning of the game is having like the game repeatedly tells your character that you're getting a second chance, you're doing it again. And I always kind of wonder what that meant, and I guess that's tying into what you're saying right now.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
All right. That's pathological. No, Pathologic 2.
Pathologic 2
yeah.
is the name of the game.
Cool.
And I'll be playing. If you want some spoilers, I'm about 8 hours in, but I'm going to be doing probably 2 or 3 hours of it tomorrow before Void Bastards.
Cool. Let's talk a little bit about Nier 2. I didn't expect. Truth be told, I forgot about Nioh. Completely. I forgot. I said Nier, and I've been doing that the entire time.
And you typed it into the game.
That's how much I forgot about it, is that I call it Nier.
you typed it into the bottom left.
I know. I heard what you said. We're just gonna leave it like that. This is the Nier 2 alpha test. Surprise.
I like it.
Okay. New E3 announcement, exclusive here on Drop Frames. Yeah, I forgot all about this game. And I think I went into this alpha. It's kind of a weird thing to call an alpha. The game feels fucking...
It's a vertical slice. This is a demo.
Yeah.
You don't need to call it an alpha.
It feels really good.
Yeah. It felt better than Nioh, and that's a fully released game.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, were you playing with a better performance option instead of the graphics? Okay.
Yeah. I tried switching to the other, and I swear it was under 20.
Really? I didn't even see it.
Bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Okay.
I was not digging it at all.
I didn't even see it. But short and sweet, this is just Nioh, the second one. They didn't really change a whole lot, which is good. There's some changes like item-wise and stuff like that and how some of that stuff works. And it's a prequel, is my understanding, although...
50 years.
Yeah. Did the alpha go in... I honestly didn't pay too much attention to the story stuff. Did they go into that at all? Is why people can use spirits and turn into things and stuff like that?
I don't think so. I avoided most of that because I'm going to be doing like my normal 100% run. So I'm going to kind of like saving all the lore and stuff for that. But
right.
I think they purposefully kind of stay away from a lot.
Okay. Because I didn't see any. I know like when you would complete a mission, they would say like a couple lines of text on what happened in that mission and whatnot, but it's fine. But yeah, this is just, it's more Nioh. And I forgot
it's kind of
Nioh
interesting
was good.
Because I think a lot of what we heard and said about Division 2 to Division 1 is very similar to Nioh 2 to Nioh 1, where Division 2 was not meant to bring in new people. Mm-hmm. It was meant to be a love letter to fans of Division 1. And that's what I feel the Nioh 2 is. It is a love letter to Nioh 1 fans that is saying like, here's basically everything you liked with a couple new things, revamped UI for a lot of the things, brand new enemies, brand new levels, brand new bosses, but it's essentially Nioh 1. It's 80 to 90% Nioh 1.
Yeah.
Even like some of the weapons use the exact same combos and animation.
I thought it was pretty interesting when I was streaming this, and I think that they're going to come into potentially an issue marketing for this game. But the entire time I was playing this, everyone was like, is this just like a scuffed Sekiro? Is this just like a Sekiro knockoff? I was like, but Nioh came out before. Anyways,
don't
it's
bother.
fine.
Yeah, don't bother.
It's fine.
Yeah, for anyone that plays both, you immediately know they play nothing alike.
They're not similar in any way possible. The only thing that's similar is that you're fighting in melee combat. That's it.
That's like saying For Honor and Mordhau are identical games.
Yeah. If anything, someone described Nioh as a Diablo 3 Dark Souls hybrid. And I thought to myself, like, I kind of see that. Like, there's a lot of loot in this fucking... So much loot that I actually was tired of looking at the loot, and I would wait until I would do something significant to then look at the loot. Or if I wanted to, like, prepare for a fight or something like that.
Quick tip for any Nioh fans. Know the weapon type you want and learn the name of the gear that you want to use that matches your stats. And then anytime you see that on the left-hand side of the screen, that's the only time you check. Yeah. Everything else just gets broken down and moved away.
And even before you pick up the loot, they'll say like, they'll have a little like exclamation point up or down to see if it's better or worse than what you currently have equipped. But a lot of times that loot is significantly different from what you're wearing, so it's not a direct comparison. So it's kind of a weird way to judge that. This is the second boss in the alpha. I can get away and show some actual gameplay. I did have, I don't want to say an issue. The tracking on this boss felt a little odd to where he kind of would like glitch on the ground. I died to it the first time. I'll try to point it out when he does it again. But apart from that, I didn't really have any issues with the gameplay. A little bit like spongy on the hard mode boss. This is the thing I'm talking about right here. Yeah. It's not the tracking's kind of annoying, but eventually I just learned how to dodge it properly and get rid of the annoyingness, and it was fine. And then me and Co were talking about this the other day. I used the axes. When I played Nioh 1, I used a two-handed axe called a Manabe axe. And I don't feel confident in saying that I played Nioh 1 because I played the Manabe axe game where you just hold down the button, then you would go like that, and then you'd do a somersault, and it would break their guard and then one-shot them up. And that's how I played Nioh 1. It wasn't in the alpha, so I actually had to learn how to play with these double axes, which double axes were not in Nioh 1. Is that right, Co? Because I didn't play any other weapon.
No, there was a dual sword item in Nioh 1. But the axes are very similar, not only in style, but in animation, from what I understand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, real quick, though, important note to slide in here. The original Nioh 1 alpha was missing weapons that were then put in when Nioh released.
Right.
So even though there's only 4 weapon types in the Nioh 2 alpha, we may see axes or the Kusaganata. The cool stuff may actually be coming in when Nioh 2 releases.
Yeah.
Also, we got 2 different weapons in DLCs in Nioh 1, so we can probably expect some new weapons in Nioh 2 DLC as well.
The dual axes were fine. So much so that even if the Manabe axe is back in the full game, I still might use the dual axes. They were fast enough and felt like they did enough damage that it felt fun to play. It was definitely like a sprint at boss or sprint at mob and do a couple quick attacks and then get the fuck out style of play. But I want to pull up Kozvod because you played with the big sword, right? It's a little bit different.
Yes, the Odachi.
Before we continue, though,
Sure.
Is this something that everyone can get, or is this like streamer privilege stuff?
It was really stupid. A viewer gave me my
It's
code.
not even streamer privilege.
Yeah.
I didn't get a code. Nobody got a code. Like,
Yeah.
basically what happened was the Japanese company had a set amount of codes, and then they sent them out randomly to everyone. And then the PR company was like, so how do we get codes to the people we want to? And the Japanese company was like, hi. And that was it. That was it. That's what happened. So like literally the PR company was apologizing to me. They were like, look, we like you. We'd love to give you a code, but we literally don't have anything to give out. They dictated all of it. So yeah. So that was it. Yeah, they said yes. They were like, yeah? Like, I don't know. So that's essentially what happened. Most of the streamers you see playing it, like I was lucky enough to get a streamer from a viewer. I actually had to make an EU PlayStation account just to use the code.
Oh,
So,
God.
like,
Jesus.
It was that much of a mess. Yeah, I now live in London, apparently.
Nice.
Cool, next to Barry.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was a thing. But yeah, in terms of the demo, man, I love this demo. And I'm gonna call it a demo, not an alpha. It all the new enemies were fun. The levels were beautiful. The new UI is phenomenal. It's a spider web system instead of a list system now. Much easier to read, much easier to use. All the enemies I fought were fun. They have some really cool new mechanics with the Odachi. You can get Odachi weapons that are possessed. So they have like these spirits in them. And as you attack things, they build up and then they get sentient. So they will start talking to you.
That was with the axes as well.
All sorts of crazy damage. Yeah. And then there's also, I don't know if you got this, you probably got these later, JB, blessed weapons.
Yep.
And blessed weapons are also incredible. Like on the Odachi, whenever I would absorb Amrita, I'd get an auto heal effect on my character. Like just all sorts of crazy cool new weapon stuff. But the weapon felt awesome. I loved the levels, loved the monsters. The boss fights were phenomenal. This got me so hyped for Nioh 2. And
I want to replay Nioh 1.
Yeah. Oh,
I never
I'm
played
actually
the DLC.
Replay Nioh 1 before 2.
Did you play the DLC? Did either of you play?
I think I played one of them, I think, but I don't know if I played the other one.
I don't think I touched any of it.
Yeah, definitely need to check it out. I know I did one of the DLCs because they introduced a really badass two-handed sword. I think it was called the Nodachi, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, it was. Oh, I did play both. People are saying, okay. I did play all the DLCs. Well, tells you how much I know. But yeah, so that they were great. Man. They were great.
You do a lot more damage than I did, by the way. A lot more damage.
Not only is the Odachi doing a lot of damage, but in Nioh 2, they put in some fun new ways to do stance dancing. And what's really cool about the way this game works is you have a high, mid, and low stance. And as you get skill points in your weapons, you get these new abilities that let you kind of dance between the stances. So we call it stance dancing. And when you do that, you can not only get back a lot of your energy, but you can in some cases get like a little bit more and be able to keep doing combos that would normally exhaust you. So it's a huge skill cap. I spent like a good hour trying to learn it, and I was only scratching the surface by the time I was done. But it's the difference between doing like 3 hits and then waiting for 10 seconds and letting your stuff to come up, or 3 hits, switch to a different stance, 2 hits, switch back to the main stance, 2 hits, switch to a mid stance, 2 hits, switch to a low stance. And you can just like boom, 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 and just bounce between the different stances while you're refilling your stamina bar with key pulses.
Yep.
It's really cool. There's a very large skill cap for combos.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that you do a lot more damage. Granted, I didn't stance at all. Only because I didn't stance at all in Nioh 1, so my brain, like, we talked a little bit about this on Skype, Kobe. I hope the game, and it probably will, this is a demo, the game will be the full game. I hope it doesn't introduce as much as this game did in such a short amount of time, because there were definite moments where I was just like, I don't know any of what's happening, right? There's so much fucking things occurring on screen and these items that I'm getting and the way that the game is actually supposed to be played. I don't know anything. I'm going to go shoot this snake. And that's what I did. And I would eventually learn through failure. But
that's how I felt during the last fight in the Twilight thing. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you have it there, but there's like at one point, like the very last guy, the new thing about Nioh 2, which is pretty interesting, is not only are there yokai pulses, which are like the black pools that you can key pulse to clear, but there's this new yokai realm right there mechanic where they basically pull the yokai realm into your realm and the whole area becomes that way. And what's nuts is this last boss in the Twilight mission, which is the harder mode, right? You'll see him. He'll just start like yokai realm, and then he'll like absorb its power attack. Yokai realm, and then back to normal realm. Yokai realm. It's like, it's here, it's gone, it's here, it's gone. And like, I was sitting there like overwhelmed by, like, you can see, I was just, I didn't even know what was going on. I was just trying to dodge and get through shit, and he's like doing all these super moves and going Super Saiyan every 3 seconds. And yeah, it was a crazy fight, man.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I didn't even dodge half the time, or I didn't even like hold down guard or whatever it is. Like with the axes, it was literally just hold down sprint and just fucking run nonstop because I was so scared. And I think a lot of that was just Sekiro gameplay coming through in my head, because that's exactly how you're not supposed to play Sekiro, but that's how you can play Sekiro instead of just constantly trying to parry that stuff. But yeah, I'm very excited for Nioh 2.
Can't wait, man.
It seems pretty good. It seems very good. Were you using heavy armor, by the way? Because I went pure light.
Dude, I found a full set. I had a full set
as well
of a heavy armor, and it was a really nice set. And yeah, like this guy right now, when I fought this boss, I had the entire 6 set component, and it was great. Felt good. I could still dodge around. Thankfully, I did a build where even if I was in full heavy armor, I wasn't fully weighed down. I was still midweight. So it really, was great. I already know, like, this is what I'm doing for the main game, no question. I had such a good time with this weapon and this style of play. I was just loving it.
Yeah, I used light armor and had the Snake Priestess set, I think is what it was, or something like that. And like that move right there one-shot me. So I might bump up to like medium armor. But I was also fast. Like I could constantly sprint around and didn't have any issue with that. So.
I cannot do that in my heavy armor.
Yeah,
that's understandable. For the record, yes, I not only beat Sekiro, I beat the final boss twice in a row. But that's a story for later.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know why you would try it twice, but there you are. Well, let's just have the conversation now. Why did you beat it twice? What was that about?
So basically, I attempted the final boss about 2 hours on stream, and I got him to 1 hit once, and the third phase a couple times.
Okay.
And I've got a laundry list of games I want to play. So one of the things I did with the Iron Butterfly is I played a little offline, ended up beating it, and then I started the stream and just showed the replay and continued on with the game.
Yeah.
So I told my community, I was like, look, I really want to play Void Bastards. I want to play Pathologic, Layers of Fear 2. So I'm going to go ahead and try the boss a few times offline. So last night at like 8:30, my wife was putting my kids to bed. I had 30 minutes to play, and I end up beating him for the first time. Like, it was one of those fights where your hands are shaking by the end. Like, I had like 2 hits left, and I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. Like, I beat him. This is great. So I had it all recorded, and I logged off, and I'm like, great, this is awesome. Now, some of the people in my community might already be realizing what's wrong with this. And that's because a few weeks ago, I set up a batch file on my computer to restart it every morning.
Oh.
So I walked into my computer room this morning to a black monitor. And I said, oh, that's weird. Oh, mother. So
again. Okay.
I centered myself. And at 7:50 in the morning, I stream every day at 8 a.m. I said, I have to beat this bomb. And I one-shot it. So I beat him last night, recorded that fight, and then I beat him again this morning, back to back. And what's even funnier is I made a point to show everyone, like, look at the video from last night. Look where he's dead. And now look when I look today, he's in a completely different part of the arena. Like he's across the arena. Like I can't fake this. I'm not making this up. So I was pretty happy about that. So I did finally beat Sekiro. Sekiro has been beaten. I do need to go back and beat the red demon guy and the owl, the second owl fight, which is arguably the hardest fight in the game.
Yeah, I don't know when fight existed. The red fight's not too bad.
It is like I spent a good hour and a half in that owl fight. I don't even think I made it to the second phase. Like it is insane how fast and the reach and his move set is just it's gnarly, man. It is a gnarly fight.
Jeez.
I got mad respect for anyone who's beating that boss. No kidding.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it, so maybe that's I'm still trying to. If we're talking about games we haven't finished, I still got to finish the last Valkyrie and God of War. So that's currently my struggle bus that I haven't even got to yet. There's still multiple hours of. I'm not looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it because I know do you guys remember in God of War when you fight the Elf King, where it's all dark and he like throws the bombs on the ground and it goes pitch black and then he like rushes you? Yeah, that boss was a hurdle for me already on New Game Plus. If you get hit by 2 of those bombs, you die. And if he hits you once with a red attack, it's a one-shot. So it was like an hour and a half of fighting that. And apparently the Valkyries have different mechanics than they do on like normal or non-new game. So, yeah.
Damn.
It's
cool.
Supposed to be harder.
I have mad respect for them for doing that with the boss fights. Too many games. You just put up the difficulty level in New Game Plus. And it's just like more HP, more health. But they're like, yeah, we're giving them all new mechanics. Yeah. Like stuff you can't just like if you mastered the fight in the last version, you're gonna have a better fight in this one. You're gonna have a different fight in this one.
That everyone, awesome. Everyone was like, "Has he done the second Valkyrie before?" And someone in chat would say no. It's like, "Oh well, he's fucked." Like, great, fantastic. That's not what I want to hear at all. So I'll get there eventually. I'm still chipping away. I just beat the brothers in the cave. And that it took me 2 attempts for that fight on NG Plus on the hardest difficulty, so I felt pretty good about that. Because that fight was kind of a pain in the ass when I first played through it. So I will keep at it. Zeke, you want to do Indie Sunday?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, great. Let me pull up the VOD here. You started with. Oh my God! You played Hell's Other Demons. How was this game? I'm very interested to hear about this.
It's honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but this game ended up being a fucking lot of fun. Hell's Other Demons is the name of the game. It's by, and if you are as old as I am, or maybe like you started your gaming career early or whatever, you remember Congregate?
Yeah.
That website?
Newsgrounds, Congregate, yeah.
Yeah. They're like, those websites that we used to go to are now publishing a lot of games. And I played one from oh God, it wasn't New, it was Armor Games, I think, published a game on Steam or something like that. This one is published by Congregate, and it's developed by Cuddle Monster Games, and I think this is their first, pretty sure it's their first and only game on Steam. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is $9.99. It's $10. $10 on Steam. And it is fucking fantastic. Now, this is a perfect example of a game that is pretty fun to play. Nonetheless, like the gameplay is fun. It's fast paced. It's sort of, I mean, bullet helly, sort of. It's level attack. So you just go like, or stage attack. You go from stage to stage. And then each stage has different levels. So like you see the squares in the top middle of the screen.
Yeah.
It tells you how many stages are in this particular level, or how many levels are in this particular stage. There's 5, so you got to go through 5 or waves. Excuse me, that's a better way to put it because that's how they put it in the game. There are waves, so you have to beat 5 waves for this particular. Sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 4, whatever. But this game is one of those games that has fun gameplay, but what really like keeps it fresh, keeps it coming back, and I can't stress this enough. The soundtrack is really, really appropriate and good and driving, and it pumps you up when you're playing it. You enter a level, and it just seems to fit really well with the style of the game and the hellish nature of it. It's this like really dark electric music, and it fits really well. And I want to point that out because I don't know. In fact, I'm positive I wouldn't have enjoyed the game as much if it didn't have a good OST. And it does. And I immediately bought it. Like as soon as I played like 4 or 5 levels, I was like, I gotta get this OST. And I played all the time.
At least that's the track playing right now. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's really cool. But it's also like every level has 3 challenges that you can complete. The first time I saw those, I was like, oh, well, that seems easy. So I went back and did the first stage again, and I did it with the challenges are use no gun, because you can jump on enemies and kill them. So use no gun, use no ultimate, don't get hit. So basically finish it with the full health perfectly. And I was like, oh, cool, I can do that. And I went back and the first stage, I was like, that's a snap. The second stage, I was like, not so snappy on that one. That one's going to be a little bit tougher. And then the difficulty ramps up and keeps ramping up. And it's a good difficulty climb.
Nice.
And then you'll hit one, like I hit one level and it was like, we're serious now. And I went, okay, you are serious. Okay, well, okay. And then there's a great upgrade system. As you go along, you purchase like the gems that you do, or gems that you collect are your currency, and you purchase upgrades like double jump or triple jump, a better weapon, more health, and all of these. See the little numbers, the 1, 3, 4 by the actual item.
Yep.
Those are slots in your inventory. They're basically like your encumbrance. So you can purchase more slots to socket more stuff. So I think you start off with like three slots. So in order to equip like a great weapon, you have to purchase like 3 more encumbrance slots. It's not that expensive, but it encourages going back, because you can go back to levels and replay them to get gems, to like farm up some gems. And it doesn't take very long. Like don't let that turn you off if the word farming like makes you apprehensive. It doesn't take very long. If you want to go back and get gems, you can. But you can also go forward, and some of the like you want to customize your weapon loadout or your ability loadout to certain levels. Like there's a level where it would behoove you to be able to shoot behind you. And there's the twin shot, which goes out both ways. And it's a fucking awesome weapon. So you jump around, you just hold down the button, and it goes and shoots out both ways and stuff like that. You can get more accuracy. You can get your boots, your jump, head jump does more damage. You can buy like spike boots or whatever they're called. So it makes it easier to, if you want to go back and complete levels, like the challenges of the levels, like the no gun challenges and stuff like that. It makes that more viable, easier to do.
Sure.
And the color scheme changes. So if you don't like purple, once you beat a certain place, they give you background customization. So you can do green, or you can do yellow, or you can do this color and that kind of stuff. So but I like to leave it on custom, or leave it on like the game default, because it changes as you progress through stage by stage. This is the one I was talking about.
Oh wow.
This is the chase scene.
Cool.
It is cool. It's fucking cool, man. It's intense. It's cool. Like it's got the right look and the right feeling. I'm not sure about the main character sprite. I was kind of like,
Yeah, he looks a little.
It kind of like he's a demon. Make him more demony, maybe. Like, but I mean, that's like what very, very tiny,
Right.
very tiny. But yeah, the boss fights are varied. So it's not just like the same, like, shoot the boss in the head, jump around, blah blah. There's stuff like this, different boss mechanics and stuff like that. It's a fantastic game, and for $9.99, man, it's got its value absolutely for me. And I actually do want to go back and play this. It was on Indie Sunday, so I had to I feel it necessary to switch games every so often, but I could have played this all day.
Yeah. This looks like a pretty good Switch game. I know it is on the Switch.
For Indie Sunday, man.
Yeah. I might pick this up on the Switch, play on a flight or something like that. It seems like it'd be a pretty good one.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
Cool. All right. That is Hell is Other Demons. PC and Switch. Is it on PS4 or anything like that? Do you know? Do you know if it's on other console platforms?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Look that up real quick. Oh.
Cool. I will. The next one's game and demos. So we're going into uncharted territory here with this next game.
Oh, yeah. This game is called Drawngen. DRAWNGEON.
Okay.
And it's actually Drawngen.
I think
colon Dungeons of Ink and Paper.
Okay, I didn't.
It's a pretty basic game. There's another game. Gonna have to help me out again, chat. There's another game that's kind of like it that does like you're in a 3D environment, but all the models are 2D. So when you like go around them, the 2D model just kind of like follows you, like as you like it's still flat.
Dungeoneer, maybe?
Like
that's what chat's saying?
No. It was called Delver. Was that the name of it?
I don't know. What about Doom? Are you talking about Doom?
I mean Doom. Yeah, of course it's Doom. But there's another like game that's like this. Whoops, hold on. Let me see. 'Cause I have it in my library.
Old school like tile-based RPGs.
Nope, not Delver.
Yeah.
It's the
doesn't matter. We're talking
Slasher's
about this
Keep.
game.
Thank you, Slasher's Keep.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario. Everyone knows it. Yeah. That's it.
I'm relating it to a game that I played on a different Indie Sunday that actually did it a lot better than this. Called Slasher's Keep, and it's like you fight 2D stuff. There's not a lot of like innovation to it, but it's basically everything works properly, which is kind of saying a good amount for an indie game. Like all the pieces are there and all the pieces work. But I mean it's not anything super special. Good part, it's usually $4.99. It's on sale for $3.99. So that's like
it's pretty cheap.
It's $4.
Yeah.
$4.
It's not.
But there's
not
not much to it. I played it for like an hour and change.
Okay. Sure.
Or no, just an hour. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
Short and sweet.
I thought it would surprise me, might surprise me, but it really didn't.
I think you played a horror game next because it's called Dollhouse. Oh my god, this game's.
Oh, I want to know about this one.
Now, Dollhouse, man.
How do you see anything?
It's super dark. It's super uber dark. Pump up the gamma when you started. I should have pumped it up way more. I didn't. You do have a flashlight in the game, but it has a fucking battery. It's actually like one of those it's one of those like
see thing. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, you pumped up the game on your own. There you go.
Now we can see what's going on in this game.
Very nice.
Yeah, the game is called Dollhouse, and it has good and bad things. Outstanding good and bad thing.
Huh.
Good. Let's start with the good. What is good about this game? The story is intriguing. It's played out like a film, sort of. You think it's old Hollywood, like Black Dahlia era type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Your fame is what is your experience. So the more fame you have, but you don't know really what's going on. It's one of those games that kind of like doesn't tell you immediately what the plot is. and it's fun to like figure it out. The tutorial took a while to get. The mechanics of it are also kind of cool. You have to. You're in a maze. You have to collect memories from your past, and in order to collect those memories, you have to see through the eyes of your pursuer, because your pursuer knows where your memories are, but you don't. So you have to see through their eyes. But when you use that ability to see through their eyes, they can find you.
Oh.
So it's a gamble whether you like, in order to get your objectives, you have to tell the pursuer where you are.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And and there's like this mechanic at the end of each of the level that I completed, where you construct a movie with clips with the memories you've collected, and they're fucking weird, fucked up clips. Like they're all black and white, like I'm sure public domain clips of like bondage. And then there's one of a family having a picnic. And then there's one of like someone playing with stuffed animal. And it's old footage. Like it's not like recreated footage. It's like old ass like public domain footage. So, and like one of the fucking clips had a nipple in it, like a real like lady nipple. And I was like, oh, that's funky. Just like all these weird clips, sure. You put them together at the end. You make like a mini film, and at the end of the each level, you submit it to critics, and the critics judge your film to see how much like experience you get at the end of the level. Like you collect experience throughout the level, but the big bonuses at the end are how good your film is after you complete the level. So cool mechanic, really intriguing. Bad part, it's monotonous. It's a maze, avoid baddies, pick up items, repeat.
Okay.
At least the level I played. It's don't get and this without they did the if anybody's ever watched Doctor Who, they did the Weeping Angel.
Sure.
Yeah, the Weeping Angel mechanic where you turn your back on these mannequins, they go and they don't move when you're looking at them, but they move when you.
Was Doctor Who the first to do that?
No,
it's just the most. It's just the widest example.
Is that? Yeah. What was that, Co?
I think monsters like that are as old as like in some Greek mythology. Like that's a old thing. Yeah.
Anyways,
Weeping Angels, like the concept of stone angels, I think is Doctor Who, but just monsters that only move when you're not looking at them, I think that's old.
Gotcha. Anyways, sorry to interrupt, Zeke.
You know, that's funny. Someone in chat said Mario did it first, and I went, what do you mean Mario? Oh, they did. The booze.
Yeah.
Like, whoa,
right.
Okay.
Fuck, that is right. Yeah, it's a goddamn boo. You're right.
Anyway, so that mechanic is always like intense. Like when you get like in order to get away from them, you have to look away and run. And you can actually keep ahead of them, but you have a stamina meter. So once your stamina starts running out, you'll feel these like the screen goes like cracked, and you're like, shit, fuck, they're right here. Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, okay. No, like seriously,
we were both looking down.
Still?
Yeah.
I thought it was frozen.
No, I was answering something. Yeah.
But the game could benefit from a couple things. One, can we please have an OST that follows throughout the game? Just a little light music in the back. Something tense. They do the tense scenes pretty okay as far as music goes, but it's so fucking quiet for most of the game. It's just like, oh, please, I just need a little bit of audio stimulation because it's silent otherwise. Dark. It's fucking way too dark. I understand darkness as a mechanic for like, gloom or terror or something like that. But there's such a thing as making it too fucking dark, and this game is way too fucking dark.
It's really dark game.
Yeah. See, look how dark that is. Shorten the fucking tutorial the tutorial takes way too long to get to like show you all the mechanics of the game. Way too long. Get to the point of that. But and you once you get past the tutorial level and you get to the next level, it still looks like basically the same mechanical game, but it does change the environment. So this one's like in a like a Shining-esque fern maze, or not, like hedge maze.
Yeah.
And then the next one is like a backstage like maze kind of a thing with like wooden slats and like, you know, like false fronts and stuff like that, like for like a stage production like that. So it does vary, but it's just I didn't get enough of it like right away to like really be excited about it. Oh, there's also a research function in the game. So anytime you see like a trap or a mannequin or, you know, a memory or something like that, you can research it, and it gives you like not only experience, but it gives you more information. So if you can research, it's kind of like BioShock that way. In fact, they do like absolutely rip off BioShock unapologetically a couple of times. One of the achievements in the game, I shit you not, is called "There's Always a Lighthouse." So
Sure.
they're like, yeah, we know. We're doing it on purpose.
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
Well, at least you're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, you in BioShock, like I think it was first BioShock where you had the camera and you could take pictures, and the research would like go up, and you get more information on the splicers and splices and stuff like that. It has a similar mechanic to that.
Okay.
But
Cool.
I don't. It's pretty spendy as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's normally $30 on sale right now for $26.99, and I don't know, man. That's a little much for a game that's kind of that has enough things wrong with it. And I'm like, if they fix those, I might go back.
All right. Epic Game Store exclusive or no?
Yes, it's only on the Epic's Game Store, but it's weird. You purchase it on Epic, you play it on Uplay, and then you can only stream it to your PS4.
Interesting. That's a weird marketing technique that they're trying out. I don't know how it goes. I don't know how it goes.
Confused dog look from Co.
Yeah. That's Dollhouse.
Okay.
Let's go to the last one.
I think it's American Fugitive, is next.
American Fugitive. Yeah.
This game was fucking fantastic. I had such a good time with this game. This game is called American Fugitive. It's $19.99 on Steam. It's published by Curve Digital, which you may remember. They did Manual Samuel. They did Hue, Hue, the color game. The Flame and the Flood. They've published quite a few games. It is developed by Fallen Tree Games, who have done like a couple of games, Quell, High Rise Heroes, stuff like that. But this game, and they don't like even the first line of their blurb on Steam says GTA Chinatown Wars plus Dukes of Hazzard plus X Time Splitters developers equals American Fugitive. And that's from IGN UK. But they put that on their blurb, so they're like, yes, this is what we want to say about our game.
Sure.
Definitely all of those things. And it's the blurb is: frame for your father's murder. You'll need to do whatever it takes to unveil the real culprit, tackle thrilling missions for the criminal underworld. Just don't let the cops track you down. Now, you're looking at one of the funnest parts of the game is the driving, because it's responsive, it's fast, it's quick. The acceleration is quick. You move around the map really, really fast. You have great control over the vehicle. All the vehicles have different like weight. So like a van will be a little bit slower, but it's beefier, can take more hits.
Mm-hmm.
Like a smaller car will have like, you'll be fishtailing a lot because you'll be like going around a corner too fast. And you'll fishtail like you'll drift out of the fucking like off of the track and stuff. But there's so many cool, like fun and funny things about it. The ragdolling effect is fucking hilarious. The people in the environments of the game are really good. They look really awesome. I like the pulled back camera on the driving and on the overworld. You can get around places. There's always something to do. It's one of those kind of open world ish games where there's missions every so often, like or missions on the map that you can go, just like GTA. It's like you can go do a race, or you can talk to this guy, or you can go over here and do this. So this is me doing the very first race, and it's the first race, very short course, very small, very easily done. You get the gold medal, you get all the money. Like the thing I will say, the one big drawback, and I think someone on one of the Steam reviews kind of summed it up pretty well, is there's a wanted meter and there's cops. However, it's not very challenging.
It's not very what?
One thing challenging.
Oh, okay.
The one thing I would bump up is the difficulty of the game, because it's not difficult to get away from the cops or kill them and leave. And it's also not difficult to take your wanted level down, because all you have to do is either change cars or change clothes. And then your wanted level is like 0. They don't pursue you all that well. So there's a lot. I think the cop AI could be improved or could use improvement. I don't know. Like, this probably entails a whole bunch of fucking work. But the difficulty of the game could use a boost. Other than that, it's hilarious. It's fun. The music is awesome. It suits the game very well. And it's totally like, I had a fucking blast with it. It's $19.99 normally, $15.99 right now on sale. And it's just GTA stupid fun.
Awesome
I had a blast. Yep.
All right. That completes Indie Sunday for the past week. We're already short on time. We got about 20 minutes. Crazy Dan's got 2 questions for us. But Ko has been playing a lot. But one game in particular that I know a lot of people have been asking about, and I'm very curious about, is Void Bastards. I think we both got early access to this. I've played like maybe 5 minutes of it. And was already like, all right, this game seems pretty cool. You put in some more time into it this morning. How's Void Bastards?
Okay, now, before we begin, I want to say something that's very cool that not a lot of people know about. Void Bastards is free if you have an Xbox Game Pass.
Yep.
So you can play this game right now for absolutely free, that we're about to talk about, if you are somebody that already has the Xbox Game Pass. So enjoy. Okay, Void Bastards is a roguelite with a T, first-person shooter in a very stylized, cel-shaded world with by one of the original designers of BioShock. It is a game that has FTL travel elements, a large crafting system, a completely randomized levels with different enemies, different rooms, different ways to get in there, lots and lots of different ways to approach events. And frankly, I played it for, I think, just a couple hours, and I am in love with this game. It is very, very cool. The way that it works is there's not really to spoil it, but the way that it works is you're essentially this penal colony ship that's drifting in this nebula. And there is this like mechanical AI system that needs you to go out and basically like fix the ship. So the premise is that there's this mechanical backpack creature thing, and they just pull all of the prisoners are in cold storage. So what they do is they pull a prisoner out of cold storage, put this backpack on that controls them, and then sends them off to try to get the parts. Now, what happens is most of the time that person will die, in which case the little backpack disattaches itself, flies back to the penal colony ship. They pull another one out of cold storage, and they stick the backpack on him.
Nice.
And what's really funny about this is the different cold storage people are randomized characters with negative and positive perks. So like the first guy that I got was a smoker. So every so often he would cough and cause a big ring of sound to go out that would alert enemies or stuff like that. The second guy that I got was short. So he could walk by windows and enemies couldn't see over them, and stuff like that. So all sorts of little randomized stuff there. So the premise of the game is that the AI gives you these basic collection missions where you have to go to certain locations from the star map and do the level to then get that item. So I haven't even gotten the full first item yet, which is you have to get like a card printer and then an ID card, and that will let you into other parts of the ship. And I haven't even done that yet. I think I died once, then wasn't able to get there with the second one. The premise is that every time you travel, it takes fuel and food. You get those resources by thoroughly exploring the ships. Ships have main rooms like a bridge and an environmental room and thrusters. And by going into those rooms, you can activate different items that give you different buffs and levels. So if you like go to the helms room, and you access the helm, it will show you where all the loot is on the level. And then you can go back and like make sure you get everything. If you go into the O2 room, that'll fill up your oxygen, which you need to keep going through the different areas in. There's gene rooms, there's power rooms, there's a bunch of different random things that can happen to you, like you can get slimed and oiled and you can become nauseous, and there's rooms that clean that up. And then of course, every time you get to a level, not only are the levels randomized, but they also have random parameters. So maybe you get to a ship with no power, but it has an ammo cache. Or maybe you get to a ship that's more difficult than normal, but has a med bay. And, you know, some ships are full of food, and some ships are animal ships, and tons of little variances. Now, while you're working through this and you're looting items, you're getting all sorts of resources you can then use to build through a tech tree. So there's a tech tree that gives you new weapons, new power-ups, new bonuses, all of these persistent in the game that you play. And you kind of keep moving through this FTL-style map, each one being a different level or event, as you kind of work on these main objectives. Overall, it's been awesome. The humor is on point. It's a very snarky, very makes fun of itself kind of game. Nice. Like, for instance, I got to a medical ship, and like there's vending machines everywhere with body parts that you can pick up. And you go into the operating theater, and it's a movie theater with popcorn and seats around an operating table. Like, there's just all sorts of really weird shit in this game, all over the place. And yeah, it's been pretty phenomenal so far. I can't wait to get back to it tomorrow.
Appearance-wise, does the tile set change at all, or is it pretty much like... Oh, it does. Okay.
Basically, when you're on the world, the galaxy map, there's each node can be like an event or a ship, and there's ships that are like cruise ships, and there's supply ships, and there's like an animal ship, and like those. See a little purple one down there? Is one of them. Yeah. Okay. And each ship has its own kind of like environment, and then you can see on the right hand side there, it'll tell you like what kind of items you can find in it. If there's a special item, that's the yellow item. Those are items that like directly go into power-ups. The enemy types are under that, and then the 3 slots under that are like random parameters that ships can have.
Dang. Okay. There's a lot more to this
game. Out 3 different slots. Each one's use completely different things. Like that's a shotgun and like a proximity mine. And then later I got like a stun gun and a stealth poison gun. And you're able to upgrade your weapons too. They get more powerful and get more effects and stuff. So yeah.
Being that
it's cool.
Being that it's an FPS, how's the gunplay? Seems fine.
The gunplay is a little bit light. Like you can't zoom in on your weapons. I mean, It's totally functional and it works fine, but it's certainly like a lighter FPS system. The fact that you can't zoom in, but they still have like headshots and weak points is a little bit strange, but I guess I understand it. Maybe you can zoom in, and I just haven't figured out how to do it yet.
There might be weapons or something. Yeah.
How many weapons are there? I've unlocked 2. I've unlocked the shotgun and the pistol. And then the secondary items, I've unlocked prox mines and the poison gun. The poison gun's pretty cool because you can shoot someone with it and it doesn't get their attention, but it does poison them and their health goes down over time. So, but it's also important to mention though, is there's lots of different ways to kill enemies in the game. So for instance, there are hazards that you can lock them into, and then like you can lead them into an airlock and then stun them and then lock the door and then trigger the airlock. And, you know, there's all sorts of little fun stuff like that you can kind of unlock to the game. Again, I've only played it a couple hours, and I've heard that it gets more and more complex. The way that it works is the galaxy map is kind of in tiers, and every so often between areas, you'll see a little ladder. And that ladder indicates that you're going up a difficulty level. Like there will be new enemies and better loot and harder stuff. So I barely touched that. I think I've done 1 harder mission, and it was relatively harder. Like I ended up dying in my first playthrough just because I got overwhelmed by how many enemies there were. I didn't have the resources to keep up. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far.
Cool. Yeah, we'll touch on it a little bit more next week for sure. But Zeke, by all means.
Oh, just real quick. This game is on Steam is bundled with the OST. That usually means it's got a decent soundtrack. How's that?
Oh yeah, soundtrack has been good. There's been some really cool music between it. Definitely some stuff that got my head banging a little bit. The music is pretty solid.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I bought it. I'm installing it right now.
I think you'll like this game.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to play it.
Yeah, it seems like up.
But again, do not buy this comic books if you are an Xbox Game Pass owner, because you already have it.
Right. No, the comic book style look of the game, because it looks like you're playing a comic book, which I absolutely adore. You said it has a great sense of humor. It knows it's self-aware, and the OST is good. Like, I'm sold.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we will definitely discuss this again, maybe greater length next week once we've put some hours into it. Give me a minute on Layers of Fear 2, because I think that's all that game deserves.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna show footage of it.
This is going to be my opinions on Layer of Fear 2. So keep in mind it's slightly spoilery, but at the same time, I don't think people played Layers of Fear 1 or 2 really for the story. It's much more about the experience. So take that for what it is.
Okay.
Go mute me for a minute if you don't want to hear any of this.
Oh,
Okay, here we go.
We'll do the hands up thing. I'll do it.
Layers of Fear 2 tries to recreate Layers of Fear 1. The issue, though, is that Layers of Fear 1, you're constantly going through this very surreal experience, and you eventually get a semblance of a backbone of a story. And then by the time you get to the end of Layers of Fear 1, you've exposed this kind of interesting, dark narrative that then kind of ties the rest of the world together. Layers of Fear 2 tries to replicate it, but unfortunately, they go way more into the artsy-fartsy stuff and way away from the actual story backbone. So by the time you finish the game, you're just kind of like, okay. Where when I finished Layers of Fear 1, I was like, oh, okay, so this meant that, and that was this, and he's actually a tormented. Oh, okay, this is kind of cool. When I got to the end of Layers of Fear 2, I was just like, I guess that's sort of relevant.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now, the experience of Layers of Fear 2, it is a weird, creepy horror / suspense game. So I think some people will just enjoy playing through that. And,
Sure.
More power to it. It was an enjoyable playthrough. There were some jump scares and some interesting locations to look at. But I will say that not nearly as bad as Close to the Sun, but to a degree, I felt like the game was leading me somewhere, and I didn't felt like I got there by the end of the game.
Sure. Okay. That's Layers of Fear 2. And then maybe, should we save Druidstone for next week?
I can give you another minute.
Okay, give me another minute on Druidstone. I think I should
Druidstone,
show this.
Druidstone is a combination of Into the Breach and DOS 2 style gameplay. There's items. There is very in-depth combat. It is turn-based. Zeke, you might actually like it. However, there is a ton of reading, 0 voice acting, and the main story itself is the reason I ended up not finishing it. There are puzzles, which are a lot of fun, and the characters themselves are actually pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to do a quick spoiler here. This weird fantasy world at some point, and like you transfer this character's soul into another world, and she comes back, and in this weird fantasy game that has no bearing to the real world, she speaks Japanese. In fact, she calls it, and I kid you not, Druidstone. Like it spells out Druidstone. Like you must find the Druidstone. It's very strange, and then all the rest is like in actual Japanese. It's super weird. She even says like "hi" and like things like that, and it hasn't really explained why that's the case.
Weird.
The characters and the humor are like pretty fun. Like that part was fun, but unfortunately, the overarching story was just like nothing really kept me doing it. The gameplay kind of kept me in it as long as I did, but I just ran into a crash and a level that I lost by like a fraction. I was just kind of like, I'm gonna play something else. So, but it's a really cool game. I can definitely see why lots of people will like it, and the gameplay alone, I think, will carry this game for a lot of people.
Okay.
It's by the guys that made Legend of Grimrock, by the way. So if you were a fan of Legends of
weird.
Grimrock, it's the same devs.
Weird. Okay. Well, we got 2 Crazy Dan questions this week, so we'll do those and then call it a show. And anything else that we played? I played Total War. Same feeling I had about Nioh, where I was overwhelmed. I was really overwhelmed in Total War. So much so, I played it for about 3 hours, and an hour of that was me going, all right, chat, what does this mean? Okay, so I needed, okay. And that was about, it was a really odd broadcast. It was me just staring at a menu and just saying, all right, chat, what do I do? What's the next step? Okay, thanks, chat. What, should I fight this? No, okay, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, great. Yeah, it's very overwhelming. But I still think the game is beautiful, both as a UI and like the whole aesthetic of the game is really, really cool looking. So can't speak to the actual Total War aspect of it because I've only played Total War Warhammer, and apparently that's Total War for babies. So I don't really have any other opinions about that. Anyways, Crazy Dan's questions of the week. 2 questions this week. First question. Some of my favorite stories that I've ever experienced have come from video games. Such stories inspire me to write or simply fuel my imagination for other projects. If you could come up with some of your all-time favorite video game stories, do you think you could name a few? Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Metal Gear Solid, just the entire game series. Those are off the top of my head. What about you guys?
You mean best video game stories?
Yep.
Is what you're saying.
All-time favorite video game stories is how it was phrased.
BioShock.
BioShock's good.
Um,
Mass Effect series maybe might be in there. I think. I mean, it's not the
Last
best.
of Us.
Last of Us. I would say for the action, maybe not the actual story, but like as an action story, I think Uncharted is pretty up there. I think they kind of
Pathfinder Kingmaker.
nailed that. Yeah, CRPGs for sure. I think would weigh into that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like most CRPGs for me would be kind of like Pillars of Eternity 1's phenomenal, Baldur's Gate 2 is phenomenal, Arcanum's phenomenal. Like oh god, yeah. Honestly, I think the Yakuza series, there's some phenomenal storytelling in the Yakuza series. Some of the most powerful in any game I've ever played were in the Yakuza series, and I haven't even played 3 or more.
And but are you including games that don't have like words? Like Inside was a fucking fantastic
I
story
think you
with
can.
no words at all.
Yeah.
Even though it's kind of generic in terms of like reach and everything, I loved Witcher's story. Like playing Witcher 1, 2, and 3, like that was an epic adventure to have with Geralt. I felt like I knew him by the end, especially like towards the end of the DLCs with Witcher 3. Like overall, that is an incredible narrative.
Slightly off topic. Did you see the Nilfgaardian armor? I think is the term of it that got out there. That got leaked. What's going on with that?
I did. I think they were trying to go for some weird stylized look, and it just didn't work.
Okay.
I don't know what to think about that.
I'm a little worried about that.
Also, some people have been suggesting that that is a certain type of thing that they are doing post work on, and
I've
that
seen
it looks
that.
like that. Yeah, it looks like that specifically so that the computers can pick it up better.
Yeah.
Maybe
Looks like he's
because Nilfgaardians tend to have actually really heavy armor. They don't wear a lot of leather, and so I'm wondering if that's like just to position their chest on the screen, and then they'll like put something over it.
I don't know.
Yes, but who knows?
I don't know.
All for different reasons. Brothers, a tale of two
That's
sons, right?
very powerful. Yeah.
Brothers, Hotline Miami, and Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls series, the way it's revealed to you piece by piece and bit by bit, mysteriously.
I'm trying to think of like the most emotionally powered game story that I've played. It was like a top-down RPG created game that had to do with the moon or something. Fuck, what was the name of that game, chat? What am I talking about? Chat will help me here. To the Moon. Yeah, To the Moon. That's it. That's a super emotional story for sure. That's fantastically told in a very odd game. Not necessarily a game, I would say. It is, but it isn't.
Some of the Final Fantasies have pretty good stories too. I actually, again, there was a reason 15 was my game of the year when it came out. Like I was one of the people that really kind of like it was a dark story, but I enjoyed Final Fantasy 15's narrative.
Yeah, for sure.
And
just a
lest we
sprinkling
forget, my game of the year for 2017, Horizon Zero Dawn, had one of the better stories that I've
That's true. That was a very good story.
in years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and God of War as well. I think you could lump in there.
Yeah.
Granted,
Yeah.
the ending's arguable. Not necessarily weak, but it
Yeah,
yeah.
that brought up a good point. You know, maybe it's that I like the characters better in 15. I don't know. The story in 15 was pretty good, but I will say like the characters and the bonds between the characters, especially at the end, especially were
Right.
definitely like heavy hitting.
Yeah.
Also, would be hard pressed to come. Oh, go ahead.
Prey was.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. What were we gonna say, Zeke?
I would be hard pressed to come up with a top 5, and I think all of you guys would too. Like we could go on for hours.
It'd
with
be
this.
very hard. Yeah.
We could do a whole episode on just story games
Yeah. For sure.
for sure. Deus Ex's story was incredible. The first one.
There's
Really
definitely
good.
a lot out there, and they're unique to video games. So they're only story. A lot of them are stories that could only be told through like a game. I think, in terms of the medium. That's first question. We'll move on as we're short on time here. Second question. Crazy Dan says, I wonder now and then what will be the final straw that breaks the back of a few AAA game companies. What sort of developer sins that we've seen be committed that finally break the trust and ultimately the desire to try out their games? If you can make a list, what are the top 3 sins that big developers have done in recent years that will ultimately be their undoing? I mean, maybe individual list.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is pay to win. Like anything that's pay to win.
Yeah. Pay to win, or more importantly, pay to change the base experience.
Yeah.
Like I think that, for instance, the stuff I keep coming back to is the experience boosters in the Assassin's Creed single player game. Like there is no question in my yeah, I know, right? Like not to talk about that again, but that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I also think that once game companies start trying to fundamentally pull money from people while you're playing the game, I think that's going to be a line that they've already flirted with. And I think that's going to be a red line for a lot of people. So you're playing through a game and you come up to an in-game system or mechanic, and it immediately tries to take money from you in some way. Like imagine if you went up to Borderlands and to one of the vending machines and there was a line of items that you could buy for in-game money, and then right next to it in the full UI is a line that you can click on with actual dollar amounts next to it. Like I think when they start blurring that line even more heavily than it is now, that I think that may be a straw.
Right. I think it's...
And arguably some games already do that, but I mean like big titles to a just overtly greedy degree.
Right. I think that they're...
Randy taking notes.
There's a very... Right now, I think there's a very hard divide in terms of what's acceptable in mobile games and what's acceptable in like AAA games, where AAA games are basically trying to take everything that's acceptable in mobile games and make it acceptable in AAA games, and the community at large is basically just saying, get the fuck out of here. Don't put that shit in our games. And I think until that wall will eventually wear down because they're just going to keep trying over and over and over and over, that could be not necessarily a straw that breaks the camel's back, but I think you'll start to see people just slowly accept it over time.
Well, the good news is, though, there's no question this stuff has in some cases already sunk franchises. And I say it's good news, but honestly, like I absolutely hate it. Like the Deus Ex franchise got sunk because of this stuff.
Sure.
They stopped making Deus Ex games because of this stuff. So, you know, like it's, which is terrible for Deus Ex fans like myself. But at the same time, I do kind of like the fact that gamers rose up and said, hey, we're not going to put up with this pre-order bullshit. Like we're just going to not buy your game. And they didn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, that's arguably well, some sports games are doing it, but I hate to say it, the sports game communities are a little bit more lenient than us, I feel, in a lot of ways.
100% there. Yeah. FIFA is a fucking cash cow.
Oh god,
it's a microtransaction thing.
Everything. It's like buying Magic card decks, but
it is.
Yeah, it's
exactly
we'll really have to see how it is moving forward. And all we can do is like we do on this show. We're doing everything we can when we see this stuff to talk about it, make sure you know about it, make sure that like everyone that we know about it. We talk about it on our streams. It's all we can do, man, and we try to do it as much as we can.
Yeah.
That actually brings up like one of the things that I think is a huge sin and will always like make me apprehensive of a company. Admit what you did. Admit what you did. If you fuck up, admit what you did. Don't cover it. Don't capitulate, or don't like make excuses. Admit what you did. Sure. It's okay. We'll forgive you. Just admit what you did. Be honest.
Dude, that's one of the reasons that people are infuriated with Bethesda. Fallout 76 happens, and then 6 months after, during the fiasco, Todd Howard goes out and says that it was a success. It's like...
I do wonder...
I just get slapped by Todd Howard?
I do wonder, and maybe this information's already out there and I'm ignorant. Did that game sell well?
Apparently, it sold pretty well on launch.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because it was a Fallout game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it not only has, I believe, not sold since, but there's rumors of it going free to play, and they also have been, like, complete... Let me put it this way. They promised they were not going to put non-cosmetic cash items in the store. They reneged on that.
Well, yeah.
Sure. There are now items on the store that are directly influencing the gameplay of Fallout 76 in terms of repairing what you can repair. So... I think that's a pretty red flag, not only in terms of the quality of the people running that project, but also in terms of like, shit, we may need to get more money out of this from the people that are actually playing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if we're kind of extrapolating a lot of that stuff, I think the idea, and it's not necessarily a sin, but it's...
Is that true?
What?
Fallout 76 has been bundled for free with $5 mouse pads. Is that true?
I've seen some stuff. Yeah. You need to watch the Fall of 76, by the way. If you haven't seen that video. It's really good.
That yet.
It's really,
yeah, I need to.
Oh, it's really good.
Oof.
It's really good. I saw there was also a tweet yesterday, in fact, that Angry Joe retweeted where Walmart is still selling that game for $60 in physical disc form. So, yeah. Anyways, what I was saying is, it kind of a macro scale, not necessarily a sim, but I think community management is going to be unbelievably important moving forward. If you look at like Path of Exile and Warframe, those two games are unbelievably successful in a large part to how they manage the community and how they are outward facing and how they are transparent and all that stuff. And if
And
that
how they
applies,
to us.
yeah,
Dude, they accept criticism.
totally.
And
Yeah.
most importantly, they are totally open with their mistakes.
Yep.
That is one of the reasons those companies are successful. I'll never forget reading Steve's tweet after the Warframe Switch version came out. And he was basically like, here's how we screwed this up. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. And it's like, this is not only refreshing, but it shows us they know the problems. It shows us they're working on them. It shows us that they're humble about it. Like that, we couldn't ask for more.
Right.
Like that's the exact kind of stuff we want to see. So, and some companies just are the exact opposite. Hey, maybe if we ignore the problems, they'll stop talking about them, and we just don't have to pay to fix them.
Yeah. Yeah, you can throw Final Fantasy 14, great community management. Dauntless is apparently doing very well right now in terms of how transparent and open they are to the community, and that's free to play.
Yeah,
games,
they've
so.
had horrible server issues because they're suffering from their success.
Right.
Like they had, I think at one point they were talking about 4 million players. Dude, I can't wait to see Dauntless in 3 years. Dauntless could very much be a Warframe where it starts okay, but after a few years of development, it becomes its own beast with its own mechanics. I mean, we could seriously talk about Dauntless, if it stays as successful for years, being an actual Monster Hunter competitor as a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
That's huge. Like, that's absolutely huge. I wish them all the best, man.
Yeah.
I hope it goes well.
Here's another perfect example, and I think we need to wrap up the show. But the best example, I think, of what community management can do to a game in a positive effect, and why a lot of these AAA devs need to like start focusing in on this stuff. No Man's Sky is something that's being championed right now in the chat. A game that was probably the most hated game I've ever seen before Fallout 76 came out. And it's being championed by a couple people in chat because of how they've responded in the community to that.
They've earned that champion. They stuck with it. They released free updates. They put thousands and thousands and thousands of hours into it while putting out roadmaps, while meeting those roadmaps. Like, you got to give credit where it's due, man. Those dudes are trying their damnedest. They're trying, and they got another huge update coming out right around the corner, don't they?
Yeah, the VR stuff. And I want to check that out. That game in VR seems
and
like
it's not like they're being like, hey, try our new DLC for only $5. Try, it's like they're just like, here's more free stuff. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Here's more free stuff. Oh, you still have reservations? Here's another free update.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know if the ultimate thing, to go back to the original question, I wonder now and then what will be the final straw that breaks the back of the few AAA game dev companies. If Bethesda has not died at this point, I don't really know if they will ever quote, this. I don't think there's a straw that can break their back. I think they will just keep putting out games at the end of the day. Fallout 76 was a masterclass in how to fuck something up.
They lost some of their soul with 76.
Yeah. And I mean, Blizzard in some regards is also kind of fallen and done. And EA, I mean, EA is a great thing as well. Like, if they have not fallen yet, I don't know if they will ever die. Like, they will always put out games in one way or another. I don't know if there's something that can break them.
And I've said this a bunch of times before, they got hit in the pocketbook with 76.
Sure.
They got told that if they release a shitty game, their bottom line will be affected. So my only hope is that somebody at the top of Bethesda is looking down going, hey, y'all need to make better games so we can make more money. Like, I don't care what you got to do. You got to do better than this.
Yeah.
Like Elder Scrolls 6, you need to lock that down. Fallout 5, Starfield, like, these need to be good because I want to make money.
Yeah, and
I don't even play video games. I just want to make money. Do your job.
In some aspect, I feel like those games are just too big to fail. Like, the next Elder Scrolls is such just a ginormous name in games that it's probably just going to sell on its name alone. Fine.
I think it'll sell on its game alone, but I think the legacy is what people are really looking at right now.
Sure.
Especially after 76, man. If 76 flopped, if ES6 were to suck, and then Starfield were to suck, at that point you've ruined your name. Like at least Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind, at least those were like fun games, decent play. Yeah, they released buggy as hell, but everyone has a lot of good memories from them, like they do their old MMOs in most cases.
Yeah.
Nobody has good memories from 76, really. Like nobody's building great times on that. And if that same we're not building great times goes to ES6 and Starfield, like that's how you kill a company.
It's true. It's true.
We'll see. We'll see.
Zeke, you got any last words?
No, I just pictured it like that's like Bethesda's like a motto or whatever now.
Yeah,
Like,
slogan.
Bethesda, we're not building great times.
Jesus. Oh God. Well, we'll find out.
So have you heard of Obsidian?
I still can't. In all honesty, I still cannot believe that we are getting a fucking press conference from Bethesda this year. Unless they're showing like the next not even next Skyrim, the next Elder Scrolls. They'll probably show some fucking Skyrim update, RTX Skyrim or some shit. But like,
Skyrim on the 3DS.
Yeah, we're going. It's already on the Switch, right? I was gonna say we're going to the Switch, but no, they've already done that. I believe it's already out there. I don't know what's going to be at that press conference. That's what we'll be talking about next week.
But I hope there's some self-depreciation or self-deprecation for 76. I hope they humorously joke about how bad it was, or do something as a nod, like we get it. I think that would be what a lot of people want from Bethesda right now. Just like, yo, we get it, we screwed up. I don't think they're going to do it because I honestly think they're too corporate. I think they're too corporate these days. I don't know if they can even make some. I think too many people would get pissed off in the company if they did that, but that would really help.
Besides Doom Eternal, I don't know what they bring to that show that has any sense of something that
Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein stuff, rumors of a Prey thing, but Arcane Studios have been going through some rough times. I don't even know what's going on with that company anymore. They lost the two guys, which were like the soul of the company that have been there for decades. So
I just don't. I don't know how you get out there, and we're going to talk about this next week. I don't know how you get out there at a Bethesda conference and not say a single thing about Fallout 76, about Elder Scrolls Blades, and how much of a failure I think they both been. Like, I got an update the other day on Blades for my phone. It was like, we've changed a ton of stuff. I loaded Blades for the first time, and it was like, do you want to spend $5? I just closed it because I didn't even want to fuck around with that shit.
Dude, Blades is. I haven't touched it. I haven't downloaded it, but I've heard some horror stories about.
It's very much a mobile game through and through. Let's do some shout outs though. We're over time. Zeke, start us off.
On that fun
note. Elder Scrolls Blades. Zeke, talk about it.
Ezekiel the Third. We're not making great experiences, or we're not building great experiences. No, what's up, everybody? Thank you guys for watching. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III. I will be live here in about 50 minutes, 45-ish minutes, on twitch.tv/Table Story. If you want to watch some tabletop RPG called Nocturne, it's in the Unknown Armies. It's modern day horror, science fiction-ish, timey-wimey weird stuff. So if you like weird stuff, go ahead and tune in. If you want to watch me play video games, I will be on tomorrow at noon Pacific, possibly playing Void Bastards, or Druid Stone, or maybe I'll finally check out fucking Katana Zero. Who the fuck knows? But that's all I got. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for being here. Co, some shout outs.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ko, for anyone that hasn't met me. As always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. Love these shows, especially just 3 people. We can fill up 3 hours like they don't even exist. You can find me every single day starting at 8 a.m. EDT. This week, we're going to be working on Void Bastards. We're going to be working on Pathologic 2 tomorrow morning. So if you wanted to see that weird game, be sure to tune in then. Also going to be returning to My Time at Portia, a very chill game for those that haven't seen it. We're going to be working on that this week. Also, coming up in just a couple days, I'm going to be playing this game called Barrow Trauma with a group of streamers. It seems like that's going to be an experience. Bikeman and crew. And
that's on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, you're playing that too, are you, JP?
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. Thanks for reminding
We're going to
me.
be playing that on Friday at 2 p.m., I think, is the time. So it's going to be like a big community. Like a bunch of us are playing together. It's going to be crazy. So that's going to be 2 p.m. on Friday. And then this weekend, on Sunday, I have my charity reward stream where I'm going to be doing 4 hours of Pokemon, followed by 2 hours of Doki Doki Literature Club and 2 hours of Danganronpa. So if you'd like to see me enjoy those games, I will see you Sunday starting at 8 a.m. EDT. Oh, and we beat Sekiro. So that's done. Anyway, thank you all for watching as always, and we'll see you next week.
Is that going on your business card? Like, oh, and I beat
Sekiro. Go Carnage. Twitch.tv/Go Carnage. Here's my email. By the way, I beat Sekiro in quotes.
Nice. Done. Nice. Well done. Well done.
I get that question every single day, multiple times.
I think I asked you yesterday that very question when I was watching you play Warframe. Yeah. Pretty sure I did. Pretty sure I did. All right. Next week will be our big pre-E3 show. Like I said, we're trying to get DJ Wheat to get settled in. I will tweet that stuff out once we know, as well as the schedule. There's a meeting happening tomorrow, which I should be able to finally talk about all that stuff that we're going to be doing around E3 and around Drop Frames. So look forward to that. And if not, we will see you guys next week for more Drop Frames.
Also, final shout out for those that don't know about it. Make sure you're following @DropFrames on Twitter, because that's where we'll be tweeting out the E3 schedule. That's where we'll be tweeting out all the fun stuff. So it's just @DropFrames, just like the show. And info will be on there soon.
Cool. We're out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.